this is going to suck completely from the point of view of the separate self, but it is something that if you have the capacity to commit to, it's just the birthing of infinite freedom. And this thing is to 100% devote your life to the truth. What does it mean? What do I mean by the truth? To devote your life to God. Now, this doesn't mean to to go to a monastery. This is the olden days version of this. Go to a monastery, go to an ashram. You can devote your life to truth through understanding. And it basically means doing whatever it takes to make every single second of your life an expression of devotion to truth. And the reason that this is important is because eventually this point will have to come. And it'll come to a place where you are so devoted that you are willing to die for the truth. Once you get to that point, you are as good as the goal. You are in as good as the goal. At this stage, this is where we have these sages like Neem Karoli Baba, Ram Dass, where you are so devoted to God that you begin to die into God. Your sense of individuality becomes so thin that eventually you start to die into the truth. And dying into the truth basically means that you surrender your individuality to God or to something that seems to be outside of yourself. And in that process, your sense of separation evaporates. When you combine this level of devotion, which you can easily find, most people are, I'd love that, but I'm a little bit like, I'm scared to die, or I'm scared this is going to happen, or I've got too many things to do, I've got kids, I've got a job, I've got a career, blah, blah, blah. Basically, we think we have to sacrifice those things in order to devote ourselves to truth. This isn't the day and age where we have to do that. This is the day and age where we can do this sitting on a sunbed like I'm doing right now. This is the day and age where we can do this while building a business. This is the day and age we can do this while building a family. There are no conditions on devotion. It's not devotion to praying at this particular statue down there for all day long. It's not devotion to being in this specific place. Truth is wherever you are. So if you're devoted to the truth, you're devoted to wherever you are. You're devoted to being an expression of love and understanding in any given moment. And when you combine this with this is the path of love, when you combine this with the path of knowledge, the path of jnana, the path of understanding, this is where the rubber hits the road. You're now devoted to your understanding. You're now devoted to God in a way that is less. You're less giving away your autonomy, and you're gaining your universal autonomy, which is actually what we want to actualize. We don't want to actualize losing our individuality. We don't want to actualize becoming God. We want to be natural. This naturalness is what we are, to be a natural human being, which is actually the pinnacle of this experience on earth, is to be a natural human being. You think the contrary, but it's not. Because only through accessing our true nature do we become a natural human being. That's the end result, basically, of this entire process. And this naturalness is complete freedom. We don't think we're a human being, but we act like a human being. If I acted to you like a universal godlike, would you even listen to what I say? Would you even listen to what anyone says who has this God, like, high, like, do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, you just wouldn't, and neither does it resonate to be like that. We're not looking to behave like God, because God isn't trying to behave like God. God doesn't care about being God. God cares about being human. So this thing sucks, and you might not want to do it. But if you just devoted 100% of your life and stopped looking outside of yourself for things that can make you happy, and started to realize that happiness is not outside me. I do not need anything to make me happy. But then ask the intelligent question, well, where is happiness then? Why don't I feel happy? And take that path within and devoted yourself to that. I mean, devoted every time, source of energy, money that you have towards it within reason. Life's not going to make you like not be able to feed your kids because you spent all your money on a freaking retreat or something. This isn't the type of thing that we're doing. We're devoting what we can to it. But what we find is that we devote the resources we can, but we devote our heart 100% to it. You see, we devote our heart 100% to the truth. Our heart and mind devoted to the truth. Actively in the world, we're still doing things, taking care of things, doing the garden, doing the dishes, feeding the kids, taking people for ice cream, whatever. But we're doing so knowing in our heart this is an expression of our devotion. And beyond this point, this is where you're willing to die for the truth. And to be willing to die for the truth is as good as the goal. So our job, and this is just, it's going to happen someday or another. You just better make it, better make it now. Why wait? Devote your life to this. Devote your life to the truth. Why would you devote it to anything else? What else is more important? What else? There's nothing else more important. There's nothing else to be important about. There's nothing else there other than truth. So what would you be devoting your life to if not? Then your life becomes an expression of that. So then the fun, the joy, the playfulness, the energy that you express, it's all an expression of devotion to truth. So notice that your life is already an expression of devotion to truth. You just don't realize it yet. Everything you're doing is out of an expression of devotion. You just don't know what you're devoted to. You think you're devoted to partial things, like all these little intermittent things in your life, these little compartments, but you're not. We think we want happiness in the world, but the happiness we think we're finding in the world, or the peace or the enlightenment we think we're finding in the world, is all just taking us back to ourself. That's the essence of devotion. Everything we're doing is an expression of devotion. But the problem is we don't realize that. So once you actually realize that everything you're already doing is already in direction of the truth, well, that's what devotion is. So realize you're already devoted to the truth. You're already devoted to truth and to God. Actualize it. Start taking that seriously. Just realize that's already what you're doing. So then you can take the direct path. You don't have to go through a progressive path of maybe over the next 10 years, after enough meditation and doing these enough things, can then I finally experience my true nature. You start going there directly. And this is really what the path of love and devotion is about. It's about activating your heart to make you open enough and ripe enough to understanding. Because at this point, you don't care about ending your suffering anymore. Because most people who haven't activated their heart, they're still scared to suffer. Their heart is closed. They're worried about suffering in the future, which makes them suffer now. That's what a closed heart is. And they also have a closed mind because they're suffering now. And suffering now means that they want to remove their suffering right now. So it's like suffering what's going to happen in the future, and suffering what's going to happen now because I'm suffering now, and then wanting to remove that suffering that's taking place now, which is the essence of suffering. Suffering is the desire to remove itself. Suffering is the desire to remove suffering. That's the essence of suffering. So realize this and start to take a new approach. Start to take a new life. This is the power of devotion, of bhakti yoga, is to just to forget about this desire to remove your suffering, open your heart, and to love as freely as you can. This is a heart activation thing, and we can combine it with the path of knowledge. You can't have one without the other. You can't just have bhakti. You can't just have knowledge. You have to have them both. That's a true activated human being. So take this understanding and live your life in accordance to it. Don't just have it as an idea. What would it be? Ask yourself, what would it be like to live in this direction? What would it be like to, if I might be 98% devoted right now, but what would it be like to actually be 100% devoted? What would that look like? What would I do differently? This is all a part of the path. People think that this is a progressive way. This level of devotion I'm suggesting right now, it seems like a progressive approach, but if you take it from the place I'm suggesting, it's a very direct approach. It's the direct path to open your heart. So this is my suggestion. This was my path, and I got a vouch for it. It was a good path to take. So I recommend this to you. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't fear the suffering in the future. Devote yourself to the truth. Once you realize that you're not fearing suffering in the future, and you don't need to get rid of your suffering now, that's true compassion. True compassion is to give something the freedom to be free, to give something the freedom to be without forcing it. You see? And the patience it takes while you sit there and nurture something that suffers, that isn't yet ready to be free, that is compassion. That's the same compassion that we have for having anything that we withhold in our heart in life. So give yourself this patience. This is what compassion and love is about on this path. You have the freedom to be free right now, but for some reason you're not choosing it. That's absolutely fine. There's a deeper part of you that knows that and is being patient with yourself. So be patient with yourself too. Have that understanding and love and compassion for yourself. And you'll see that bleed into the world. It's contagious. It's going to fire. It's like fire. It's going to burn everywhere. You'll notice that you'll have that for others too. I'm actually hosting a retreat at the end of the year. It's going to be in Marbella. We're going to be in a nice mansion together. I won't say much more than that. I'll post the link to the video somewhere. You can check it out. I'd be very happy to welcome you there. If not, free community, you can see that. The link's in the description as well. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I'll see you soon.